What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to TTP Sports, and the first round of the NHL Draft has basically just wrapped up. They're on the final pick right now with the San Jose Sharks, and overall, a very, I would say, slow draft. Very slow, I understand with the whole virtual thing, and it's just like, it was a little bit of a drag. But a lot of talented prospects in this first round of the NHL entry draft. A lot of intriguing players going to different teams. Alexis Lafreniere, first overall pick. Everyone knew that was happening. Quentin Byfield being the highest picked African player in NHL history, going number 2 to the Los Angeles Kings. Tim Stützle going number 3 to the Ottawa Senators, and many other interesting picks in this NHL draft. But since we are a Philadelphia sports channel right here, we're going to mainly discuss the Philadelphia Flyers pick at number 23, as they take from the Barrie Colts at pick number 23, Tyson Foerster, who is reported as both a center and a right winger, who can shoot the puck and has a lethal shot. And like I said, he played in the OHL for the Barrie Colts, and during this season for Barrie, in the shortened season due to COVID, he played in 62 regular season games, totaled 80 points with 34 goals and 44 assists. Very intriguing right there. And the major thing on his scouting report and a lot of the player comparisons that he was given as he was selected by the Flyers, NBC Sports Network, they were given a little bit of comparison to Corey Perry and the type of ways that he can score and go to the net and the way his shot is. And also a main other comparison that he's been getting to was a guy like a TJ Oshie. In this kid, he has size. He's 6'2", over 190 pounds right there. He's a kid with size. And the one knock that most people give to his game, and it's obvious, is his skating. His stride is a little off, which is something that's going to be a little bit of a work in progress right there. He's only 18 years old. This kid is definitely not going to get rushed into development. The Flyers are definitely going to take the time with this kid. Most likely, this is a project that's probably going to last maybe 2-3 years. He definitely has 2 more seasons left of junior hockey in his game before he's ready for the pro transition. But who knows what could happen with NHL prospects and the whole situation in general, just revolving around the start of every season revolving to COVID. With the big news coming before the draft even started, with Gary Bettman talking before all the picks were getting in there, he was talking about right now that the NHL, they're looking to start their season on January 1st at the start of 2021, which is, I would say, is probably around where I would expect it, just because January 1st, that's usually when the Winter Classic is, and I would expect something to have a little bit of a nice touch right there. Have the first regular season game of the NHL season to be the Winter Classic. That would just be something that's a little bit of a nice touch right there. And just going back to Tyson Foerster, so like I said, a lot of the knock of his game is his skating. The stride's a little bit off right there. Like I said, a work in progress type of player, but there is so much upside to his game that everyone loves this pick. And I love this pick too, because the major upside to his game, he has a lethal shot and he has sniper capabilities, and that's something the Flyers organization and just getting prospects and having those types of players in general, they have lacked basically a pure goal scorer, and who knows how long. Probably their last pure goal scorer, like a sniper type of player, was a guy like Jeff Carter. Then they traded him off to the Columbus Blue Jackets in the whole trade, which got them Sean Couturier, which also did benefit in their favor right there. But like, he was probably the last guy that had those sniper capabilities. And honestly, the Flyers haven't had a guy to surpass 40 to 50 goals since a guy like a Simone Gagne back in the mid-2000s. So the Flyers just have very lacked in developing a player that has a sniper type of capability and can put the puck in the net multiple times, at least like 30, 40, 50 times during a season. Their last 50 goal scorer was a guy in John LeClair. And remember him, the Legion of Doom, John LeClair? He was the last Flyer to score 50 goals in a season, and he did that 3 times in a row. So, yeah, the Flyers, they have definitely lacked that type of goal scorer, even though they're getting the guys that score 30, usually consistently every season. Sean Couturier has been that guy for the past 2 years. Travis Konechny hasn't surpassed 30 right now, but the way that he is playing and the way that he is progressing in his game looks like he could be that guy that can surpass 30 goals. Claude Giroux did it a couple of seasons ago, and Scott Hartnell back in 2012 when he was lights out, putting the puck into the net. He was a guy that was putting the puck in 30 plus times a season. And like I said, it just feels like the Flyers have lacked a guy that can just put the puck in the net 40 to 50 times a season. And yes, those guys do not grow on trees. But with the way the scouts are loving him, the way the reporters are loving him, I agree with this pick. I like what Chuck Fletcher has done in the previous 2 drafts. Last year in the second round, he picked one of the second best shots in that draft in Bobby Brink in the second round. And now all the reporters are saying that Tyson Foerster has the best shot in his draft. He has a lethal one-timer. He's a power play specialist too. He stands in that left circle, much like a guy like an Alex Ovechkin, much like a guy like a Patrik Laine. And I'll talk about Patrik Laine in a little bit because that's been circling around the Flyers community in the past couple of weeks, especially in today's news as well. So when I'm reading right here off of Elite Prospects, this is what I'm getting. So this is basically his scouting report right now, a little bit of a summary. So Tyson Foerster, he's most comfortable setting up shop at the top of the left faceoff circle on the power play. So basically in an office like an Alex Ovechkin, like a Patrik Laine, where he can take those lethal one-timers, and he can take cross-crease fees and one-timing in the net with power. He has one of the most lethal shots in this draft. He sets up his feeds really well, scanning the ice where his targets will be, looking on the pass, and threatening to shoot. He's got one of the best shots in this draft, can see the ice well, and possesses plus defensive instincts. And one of the things in his scouting report as well has been talking about how his game continues to progress year after year after year, and where he was averaging around the many mock drafts for this draft. He was averaging around like in the late stages of the first round, early stages of the second round. The earliest where you definitely saw him in a mock draft was probably as high as maybe 15, 16. The lowest you would see was probably like in the mid to late second round. So where he averages, like I said, late first rounder, early second round type of pick, and where the Flyers landed in the NHL draft at pick number 23, you could take a risk with that type of move. And like I said, and like the scouting report says, Tyson Foerster, he has one of the best shots in this draft. One of the best shots. It's lethal. I like the pick that Chuck Fletcher made right there. He's getting more shooters into the prospect pool. And like I said, that's definitely someone the Flyers need. They need people with shoot first type mentality. We have a lot of players on this team that have a very heavy pass first type of mentality. You saw it a lot of times throughout this season and just throughout the many past seasons as well. Claude Giroux, he's a pass first type of player. He's a playmaker. Jake Voracek, playmaker, pass first type of mentality. Sean Couturier, he's more of that two-way type of guy. He's going to get the assists, he's going to get the goals, and he's going to play that very strong defensive game. Kevin Hayes, basically the same type of way. He'll get you goals, he'll get you assists, and he'll play a strong defensive game. Travis Konechny probably has one of the best shots on the team. Doesn't utilize it enough to where he's more of that pass-first happy type of player. And you could say that about basically the rest of the players on this team. A lot of players on this team are very pass-happy. And that's becoming into a bad habit. And I like what Chuck Fletcher is doing, drafting a guy like this that has a shoot-first mentality and does have a lethal type of shot. His shot is quick, he has a lethal one-timer, and he can pick the corners with ease. And he's only going to get better. He's only 18 years old. He's definitely going to have another season down, at least another season or two in the OHL with Barrie to develop his game even more. Like I said, the one downgrade with his game is his skating. His stride's a little bit off. So that's definitely some type of a work in progress. So I would say if the Flyers do this the right way, you'll see this guy maybe in 2 to 3 years. If progression goes much better than expected, maybe you'll see him in 1 to 2 years. Sometimes development with certain type of players goes quicker than others. Sometimes it goes longer than others. It just depends on the type of player that he is. So I like this pick by Chuck Fletcher. I like that he gets a shoot first mentality type of player on this team. So the one thing that I wanted to get into before I wrap up this video right here is all of the rumors circling around the Flyers and trading for a guy like a Patrik Laine from the Winnipeg Jets. So this has been like one of the major talks in Flyers community over the past like week and a half or so. Like the Flyers just trying to trade for that top type of guy because there's been a bunch of rumors since the season ended and since the playoffs ended around Winnipeg that they might look into shopping a guy like a Patrik Laine. And as the weeks just start to get closer and closer towards the draft, the Flyers have been rumored to be one of those teams in the top parts of the contention in trying to trade for Patrik Laine. And today, before the draft even started, one of the TSN reporters, Frank Saravelli, was talking about how the Flyers are probably the team that was talking to Winnipeg the most about acquiring a guy like a Laine. And the way the asking price sounds right now, Winnipeg is asking for a lot, because definitely a Patrik Laine is an elite goal scorer in this league. Even though the past few seasons it's been very up and down with him, very inconsistent. Even though his defensive game has improved a lot, still very inconsistent right now with the goal scoring. But with a player at that type of potential, that high of a ceiling for him to be a lethal goal scorer, he's very young. He's only 22 years old, and he still has that high potential to be a lethal goal scorer in this league. It's going to require a lot in return for a team that wants to trade for that type of guy in Patrik Laine. And all the reports saying the Flyers are the top team that wants to try to trade for him. They've had the most talks with Winnipeg. And Winnipeg right now, like I said, their asking price is high. Some places I'm hearing Travis Konechny, and some places I'm hearing guys like a Travis Sanheim. And a lot of other reports that are talking about too, Winnipeg definitely wants a defenseman in return just because they lack the defensive depth right there. So that would make sense in that scenario. But if you're the Flyers, you're definitely going to have to give up a lot if you're trying to acquire a guy like a Patrik Laine, which right now I'm just going to take it as it is, because rumors, you just take them with a grain of salt. Hell, I would love a guy like a Patrik Laine on this team. I would definitely love it a lot. Goal scorers, like I said, they don't grow on trees. So that's definitely would be an upgrade to this team on the goal scoring side. But just, if you're looking at that trade right there, you're looking at a lot to give up right there. So maybe talks pick up once again. You just never know. You just got to take it day by day right at this point. Because I would expect, even though every day during the first round, every time during the first round of the NHL draft, there's always those rumors about trades happening back and forth, that trades are going to happen on day one, and they never happen. It's more like on between rounds 2 and 7 where the trade talks start to heat up. Then that's when you start seeing the trades happen. And actually, when free agency opens up this Friday as well, maybe those trade talks start to warm up a little bit too. Just because with the Flyers situation that they're in right now, it kind of hurts them that they lost Matt Niskanen into retirement, and now with the expectation that you were going into next season with that top 4 of Provorov, Niskanen, Sanheim, Myers, now you're losing that guy that pairs with Provorov right there, that top 2 defender. And maybe you could throw a Sanheim, maybe you could throw Myers up there, but in my opinion, I do not believe they're ready enough to be in that top 2 type of role. So Chuck Fletcher that's definitely one of the newer goals right now for the Flyers, even though Chuck Fletcher knew this like right after the playoffs ended and Matt Niskanen said he's going to retire. So that's definitely one of the goals right now for Chuck Fletcher, is to go out there and acquire a top 2 type of defender, top 4 type of defender, someone that can pair with Ivan Provorov, and that's going to be a very difficult task. And with the cap space right now, maybe work some trades there, maybe free up some cap space, look at the free agency market, look at the trade market, and you go from there. But right now with this draft, I like the pick of Tyson Foerster, and I feel like it's a good overall pick for this team. And now you gotta circle in what happens tomorrow between rounds 2 and 7. I think the Flyers have a second round pick, a 4th, 5th, 6th, and 2 7ths. They don't have a third round pick. And who knows, with the trade rumors going on, maybe we'll see a trade tomorrow. You just never know. Maybe we'll see a trade in the next few days before Friday's free agency deadline opens. So we'll see what happens in the next few days. It's going to be very, very intriguing. So I want to hear your thoughts on this pick by the Flyers in selecting Tyson Foerster. I want to hear your thoughts on it. What do you like? Do you like this pick? Are you okay with this pick? I want to hear your thoughts. So don't forget to leave your comment in the comment section. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And I will see you next time.